and the theory behind it. And then we have the third class in the concentration is real estate, contracts, and law. And the fourth one, which is the capstone course, is real estate valuation. And that's where I teach hands-on modeling for real estate cash flow analysis and investment analysis. So, all right. And let me give you a head count here. Okay, so we've got a full group here. I would say you may want to go ahead and get started, Ellen.
Alrighty, I zoomed out just to make sure we were recording, and so that is why I had to stop sharing. But yes, everybody, I'm so excited for this event. So thank you for tuning in to UT Real Estate Club featuring Crew Dallas Commercial Real Estate Women. I am your moderator, Ellen McKay. I'm so happy to be here with you all. Just to share a little about me, I am a senior on my way to graduate this spring with my Bachelor of Science in Finance and Economics. I was born in Dallas and raised in Rowlett, Texas with family roots in Mississippi. But besides that, I get to introduce our wonderful panelists to you all. First up is Alyssa Plowsky, the Senior Director of Business Development at Sendera Title and former president of Crew Dallas. She will do us the honors of stating Crew Dallas's mission statement, the benefits of being a member, and how a student like you can join. Hi, Alyssa.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. I guess we all hopefully didn't have too far to travel since we're online. This is one time I can say I'm sort of glad we are with this weather. I appreciate y'all all coming and joining us. So I was going to tell you a little bit about Crew Dallas. Now, Ellen, are you going to put up the screenshot of all the information?
Yes. Are you able to see the mission statement right now?
Yeah. Okay, good. I hope everybody can see it. So our mission statement is that Crew Dallas is a powerful network that creates success for women in commercial real estate. And I can tell you it really is true. Crew, which is Commercial Real Estate Women, is an organization of women and men that was founded about 1980. And it's the leading organization for decision-making women, providing opportunities for networking, education, leadership development, and civic philanthropic involvement. We're a part of a larger organization called Crew Network. So Crew Network is actually international now. So the organizations in each city, if they want to belong to it, they do. So that makes us even more powerful because the industry's organization is about 12,000 professionals in over 75 major global markets. And we represent all aspects of commercial real estate, and that we provide direct access to professionals all across, all across the nation, I guess, really, as well as international. And I'm going to tell you what that means is when you're in Crew, you can pick up the phone and call anybody and say, hi, I'm in Crew, I need help or I need your information, and you will get a phone call back and they will help you, which doesn't happen in a lot of organizations or just in business in general. So it's a super powerful, great network. And we network together, we help each other, we serve on committees to serve our community. We raise money for our 501(c), which is Crew in the Community, or CIC, as we call it. And we provide opportunities to better ourselves in many different areas, leadership being one of them. We have membership levels for students. We would love to have you join at the student level, which is greatly discounted. And we offer memberships to full-time students as well in undergraduate or graduate degree programs that are intended to lead into a commercial real estate career. So you don't have to be necessarily real estate right now. I believe that's right. Again, it's $95 for undergraduate students, $185 for graduate. And we have applications online at crewdallas.org.
Thank you for that, Alyssa.
Sure.
Alice is a great organization, y'all, and that is why we have them here today. Continue watching as we get to know more about Alyssa, the rest of the panelists, and how their work contributes to commercial real estate transactions. Alrighty, now introducing our Crew Dallas panelists. Moving on to Christina Brown. First up, she is the Vice President Commercial Banker at Chase Bank, one of the oldest and largest financial institutions in the U.S. There she manages client relationships where she assists and advises her clients on depository and treasury affairs, credit, cash flow, and growth. As Vice President Commercial Banker, Christina also works on business development, which requires her to network, build center of influences, which is also known as COIs, and cold call her prospective clients. For almost 20 years, Christina has been with JP Morgan Chase Bank, first starting as a high school intern teller, and then working her way up to her current position, which was effective yesterday, February 1st. Congratulations, Christina, on your new role. Outside of work, Christina enjoys traveling, hiking, playing games, eating seafood, and spending time with family. She is married to Tim Brown, a man who has been in our U.S. Air Force Reserves for 20 years. They have two precious cavapoos, Cooper and Bella. Christina grew up in South Texas, Harlingen to be exact, and moved to Garland, Texas, when she was 12, sorry. She earned her bachelor's degree in administrative leadership from the University of Oklahoma. And a fun fact about Christina is that she loves shoes. She thinks they give any outfit character. Hi, Christina.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Next, we have Shelly Maurer, an Orange, California native, currently the senior counsel for Hallett and Perrin. Hallett and Perrin is a business law firm that handles corporate, real estate, finance, general business, and litigation matters. As senior counsel in the corporate department, Shelly counsels her clients and helps negotiate and draft their real estate contracts. This includes acquisitions and dispositions, leases, and loan documents. With acquisitions, she also helps clients with due diligence, including title reviews, lease reviews, survey reviews, etc. Shelly Maurer attended the University of California, Los Angeles, where she obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in biology and continued her education at Pepperdine University School of Law. Not only is Shelly a working and educated woman, but she is also a wife and mother to two children. In her spare time, Shelly enjoys socializing with friends, exploring new areas, reading, and eating a nice ribeye steak. A fun fact about Shelly is that she spent 1 month in the Amazon jungle for a field study program at UCLA. Hi, Shelly. Thank you for being here. Next, we have Alyssa Plowsky. She's the one that explained the Crew Dallas about me, or not about me, but about them, and just what that organization is about. So she's the Senior Director of Business Development at Sendera Title, a title company that helps their clients buy, sell, and refinance real estate by examining who has ownership rights to the property at hand, while ensuring that the right to transfer the property is free and clear. Sendera Title is one of the top 3 largest independent title companies in Texas. They are a full-service title company that has both residential and commercial divisions, with escrow officers, closers, assistant escrow officers, business development, and attorneys. Sendera Title has 7 different underwriters, their own title plant that does the title searches, and 12 offices in DFW. At Alyssa's office, Alyssa networks and calls on people in the commercial real estate business who deal with the purchase and sale of properties. This includes brokers, realtors, attorneys, lenders, or banks, and the purchaser or investor. She attends industry related functions, conferences, and lunches as an attempt to get involved and to get to know other people in commercial real estate. As a single mom of a recent UT Austin graduate, Alyssa's favorite hobbies include spending time with friends, gardening, cooking, baking, walking, doing yoga, tending to her animals, and going to new places in, around, or out of town. Fun fact about Alyssa is that she obtained her salesman license at the age of 18. And at 22, she obtained her broker's license. Hi, Alyssa.
Hello.
Last but certainly not least, we have Anna Landers. Anna Landers is the Director of Project Management at Intos Design. Intos is a commercial architecture and design firm that specializes in corporate and tenant design. Here, Anna has partnered on projects anywhere from very small to up to 40 million renovations. I just stumbled over those words because it's like, oh my goodness, $40 million. Wow. She told me that she always knew she liked this field since she used to take popsicle sticks and make house plans on her mom's dining room table. Her role as Director of Project Management consists of overseeing project managers in her office, helping mentor and develop their talent. She assigns projects to the project managers, approves design decisions that are made throughout the project, and works through difficult situations with them. Anna also helps bring in new business, building and maintaining relationships with her clients. Anna is a Dallas, Texas native that earned her Bachelor of Science degree in Interior Design at Oklahoma State University. Since she hated getting stuck in the snow in Oklahoma, Anna came back to Dallas. Here she is a mother to one junior high daughter and a wife to her husband, a project manager at a general contracting firm. Leisurely, Anna is a chocolate and wine girl who loves to read. Her favorite author is John Grisham. She loves watching anything true crime or movies with happy endings. She likes to work out, but mainly so she can eat good food. Anna loves meeting new people, developing relationships, and just having fun and laughing. Fun fact about Anna is that she did a summer internship at Hassel in Brisbane, Australia, and now she calls her mom. Mom. So let's all give a virtual hand clap to our panelists this evening. Alrighty, so now we've made it to the part that we're all here for. And that is to hear what our panelists have to say about commercial real estate transactions that they see, but we don't. For the remainder of the event, we will now learn about how real estate transactions take place from the bank all the way to the design of an owner-occupied building getting ready for business. Starting with Christina Brown. As Vice President Commercial Banker at Chase Bank, please explain to our audience what takes place between the time a client walks into your office or gets on a virtual call like like we have going on now, and the time that they leave with what they're asking for. And how does your role contribute to what takes place?
Okay, perfect. Yes, I've been doing it for so long, but it's more about client relationships. I think everybody that's a panel here make sure that they have a relationship with their clients just to make sure they're taken care of. So the number one part of my job is to be a client relationship manager to not only my clients, but prospective clients as well. So what I do is primarily meet with the client, thoroughly understand what it is their business does, how they operate, what their short term and long term goals are. With this information, I'm able to get a better picture of where they're at and where they want to be, put a plan together, and help them achieve those financial goals. One of the biggest investments any business will ever make is a commercial real estate purchase. My primary focus with commercial real estate is owner-occupied real estate. And what that means is the borrower that I'm extending the commercial loan to will occupy that facility 51% or more with their operating business. So whenever clients are approaching me with any type of need, I'm understanding where they're at that process. Are they how long is their lease? Are they going to extend that lease, or are they looking at purchasing property? There's so many aspects of commercial real estate. So understanding what's important to that business, as far as turnaround time, timing is important. Everybody knows that a real estate transaction can take up to 2 years if they're looking for inventory that's already built, if they're looking for land that's being gobbled up right now or highly inflated. So understanding where they're at and how long they have to do that. There are so many different types of aspects with the real estate. Every situation is unique. There's no cookie cutter real estate deal. I think everybody could admit to that. So when you meet with a business owner, understanding their timeline is one, making sure that we understand where they're at financially. I know Ellen brought up cash flow. So cash flow is one of the biggest things that I like to discuss with clients at least 2 years in advance if I know they're going into a real estate transaction, just to make sure that their cash flow, what that means is any discretionary income that they have after paying their expenses and employees and their current lending that they have, their debt service coverage can cover that new facility that they're trying to buy. Whenever we look at a cash flow analysis, we're looking at how much that client has saved up for equity injection, how much they're going to put down pretty much, and what structure and term that they're going to be needing to help them get there. As you see on the slide, there's so many different types of real estate. There's owner occupied, there's ground up construction where you buy land and you build from the ground up. There's tenant improvements, and there's SBA financing. Whenever I meet with clients, I understand what needs they have. Some clients don't have a ton of money to put down in equity injection, but they want a building. Or some clients want to extend their term up to 25 years, and there's only special products that can do that, such as the SBA. So two of the most typical commercial real estate loans that banks extend for owner-occupied properties is conventional, which is the bank directly with the borrower. That structure typically looks 20% equity injection. The borrower brings 20% to the table. The bank finances the remaining 80% over typically a 20-year term. And the second portion of that is SBA. There's 3 different types of SBA loans, and it all depends on the amount, the structure, and what type of equity injection they're going to put into the deal. There's SBA Express, SBA 504, and 7A. And that just gives the bank more of a reassurance that is being backed by the government for repayment. So those are the type of deals that I look at whenever I'm talking with a client. But whenever we look at equity injection, for example, we're doing an owner-occupied property. You look at that client, you do a cash flow analysis. The purchase price might be $2 million. The client only has $200,000 to put down into that project. We automatically know that a conventional loan is probably not going to meet their needs. And if not, they could either wait additional time to raise that money and save it to get to that point, or have a conversation around what type of loan they can have extended to them to accomplish those goals. One of the biggest hurdles that we run into is clients don't like paying taxes. I've learned that over the years. So they don't show a lot of profitability. Whenever a bank's looking at financing a loan, they're looking at the profitability of that business and what cash flow they have that's discretionary to service the debt of that loan. So having those conversations up front with clients to help them have those 2 years at least to be fair. So again, commercial real estate is one of the biggest investments they'll make, and making sure we have the right timeline, understand the structure, and put a plan together on how to get them there. That's where business development in my role comes in as well. I've met these lovely ladies at Crew. It's an amazing organization. I've been there for 4 years. It feels like I've been there forever, just with the friendships and relationships I've built. But that business development You have to have interpersonal skills. You have to have good communication skills. Everything else can be taught at whatever job that, or ever, financial institution or attorney's office or title company. Any skill can be taught. It's just making sure you're able to integrate with other professionals in the commercial real estate industry. And that's where I've been able to do a lot of business development with crew, build lasting relationships, as well as utilize my fellow crew members as resources for any real estate deal I do, or connect them with clients that I'm not able to assist to make sure they accomplish their end goal.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Moving on to Shelly Maurer. Hi, Shelly. What are things that must be in place legally for an investor or client to move on to the next step? And what do you do exactly to make sure that it is a smooth transition?
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for letting me join you. And I'm very honored to be here this evening. So after Christina's client meets with her and they figure out they want to buy a property and they have located a property and they're ready to go into the purchase of that property, what attorneys do is we're really making, of course, looking out for them on the legal matters. So first thing that needs to be done is that when they find the property and the agreement has to be put together, and the terms of that agreement need to be negotiated with the seller of the property. So we work with those documents of creating them and drafting them, and getting them in place so that people can go into contract and be ready to do their due diligence and eventually close on that property. So like I said, there's due diligence that's involved. So I work with the title companies. I work with surveyors. I work with other maybe environmental experts as well. And on the client's behalf, we'll take a look, especially the title work and the survey work is really important for us to take a look at to make sure that there aren't any type of documents that have been recorded against the property that would maybe create a situation that isn't going to work for that particular client with that particular property. For instance, there might be some type of restriction that doesn't allow for the client's business, their type of business, to actually operate on that property. There might be some easement that's running across the property that would prevent them from building the building in the way that they want to build it, or that would really decrease the usability of the property and really not work for their situation. So we take a look at that. A lot of that will be disclosed by the survey as well. That the surveyor will go out to the property and take a physical look at it, measure the meets and bounds, the boundaries of the property, and record where, give us a map showing us where all of the different easements are. Will show us if there's any encroachments from a neighboring property, maybe a building somehow got built a little bit wrong and is encroaching across the property line. A lot of times it's mostly fencing or concrete, stuff like that. But encroachments can also occur with easements, and there might be PG&E or some type of, sorry, I'm thinking California companies. There might be a utility easement going across the property, and the building might be encroaching on the easement. And in that situation, it means that if a utility company needed to access their lines or sewer or whatever is in that easement, they would have a problem with that if your building is built across that easement area. And so, under the easement documents, they may have the right to make the property owner move their building or, do something so they can get access to it. So issues like that can create a real problem for a buyer of a potential property. Another another thing I might help the client with would be negotiating their loan documents. So once Christina figures out what type of loan the client can qualify for, what they want to do, there's actually negotiation as far as the loan terms as well. So we take a look at those agreements and help them to get terms and restrictions and covenants that are going to be reasonable for them. And that's actually a big area where we help with the loan documents, is also walking the client through and taking a look at the restrictions and the covenants that are included in the loan documents, because a lot of times people, they're long documents. They don't want to read through them, and sometimes, just depending on the client, this may be the first major loan that they've ever signed, and they may not understand the requirements and the repercussions if they don't meet the requirements that might affect them and might affect their loan. And a lot of these restrictions are put in, and the agreements and the covenants are put in because, of course, the bank wants to make sure that the borrower is running their business in a way that is going to make sure that they can pay off the loan. So they're important terms for the bank, and they're important terms actually for the client too, because it's great. It really sort of sets out a really good set of controls that helps them operate their business in a profitable way. I see Christina shaking her head in the background. So, and then another thing we might do with when a client is acquiring property is set up some type of entity to own that property. This is from an asset protection, liability and asset protection standpoint. And oftentimes with real estate purchase, the client will want to have ownership in a limited liability company. If they own multiple properties, they would likely have each property be owned by a separate limited liability company. That way, if there was some type of claim against that particular property, the liability would be limited just to that property, and the claimant would not be able to also try to get recovery from a property held by a different limited liability company owned by the same overall owner. So, and then it might not stop at that. If the client is only going to be occupying 51% of the building, then they might be leasing the rest of that space out to another party. So we might help out with the leasing and negotiating the lease. And any other contracts, maybe the contract with Anna when she wants to do the interior design for the property. So there's a lot of different aspects that we help our clients out with throughout the life cycle of their ownership of a property. So, I need to address your second question, Ellen. So the second question about how to make everything a smooth transition. In this, communication is key. And keeping your client informed is really, really important. Like I said, going through really important aspects of their contracts is very important, and just letting them, making sure you're there to answer their questions and talk them through different concerns that they might have. Also, making sure that you're in good contact with all the different parties that are involved, whether it's the bank or the title company or the surveyor. It's very important to keep tabs on communication. The other thing that's really important is organization, especially with either a lending transaction or an acquisition of a property. There are always a lot of deadlines. A lot of them are very hard deadlines, and if you miss a deadline, it could mean a significant loss to your client. So it's very important to be organized and paying attention to those deadlines and making sure that your client remains aware of the deadline. So it's a lot of marshaling in that sense as well.
Thank you for answering my question, Shelly.
You're welcome.
Alyssa, after clients have their contracts and legal obligations taken care of with Shelly, explain to us what it is like during the closing process and the different roles that are needed for that closing process to happen.
Okay. So first, I want to say everything that the other ladies have said is so true on communication and keeping their client informed. So we might get a contract, and Shelly might be the attorney, and Christina might be the lender on it. And so let me separate first. My job as business development, the escrow officer or closer is the person that's sort of like the conductor and puts everything as a uninterested. When I say uninterested, it's a third party that doesn't have an interest in the other aspects. So it is a fair third party who puts everything together, mixes it all up, and then when you get to the closing table, they have all your documents pretty, just all set out for you to sign. It is a very difficult job. I admire my closers tremendously because they have to deal with all aspects of this transaction. So they're dealing with the lender and all the papers. They're dealing with the client. They directly deal with Shelly and hammer out any issues, any details that are necessary, keeping everybody informed of the timelines. And there are many, because in the contract it will spell out, for example, when the title work's due, when the survey's due, and they have to keep on top of all of this. And so it's complicated, I know. So the title plant, we have examiners, and they are the ones that take the survey, they take the contract, the legal description of the property, and Shelly mentioned meets and bounds. That's sort of how they measure things and make sure everything the survey says is there is actually there. And they research back all the way to the very first owner of this property to make sure it is free and clear. So when Shelly's client buys it, they don't have a knock on the door one day saying, excuse me, but I have this deed right here, and actually I own this property. That's something you never want to happen. So it's a critical job that can go back to the 1900s. And of course, nowadays, a lot of that's on, it's on the internet that they can look at. But in the old days, they had to literally go through little cards and look up owners all the way back. And it can get really complicated if there's a divorce or a probate, and there's 10 children that are all over the country, and you have to contact those children and get everything done within these time frames. So it's always really important that we have good information with all the parties we're dealing with, so we can keep on those time frames and get everything together. So there are just so many different things you can do and title to get it done, but it's a really important job. We get earnest money. We hold that earnest money. We wire funds out. You don't ever want to be wiring funds out, millions of dollars to the wrong party. That's a huge no. It's an ordeal you never ever want to happen, but it does. And you have to get the money back, and we can miss things. It's really important you have a good title plant that doesn't miss things, because that can cause big problems. So your title policy is a title insurance. So we are insuring to you that you are the sole legal owner of the property under everything, all these documents that we've been given, down to exactly the survey and the history of it, and everything that the loan documents say, and everything the attorneys put into it. So it's a very important, sometimes misunderstood, complicated thing, but when you get your policy all wrapped up, you can feel confident that your property is what it says it is, and that you're the owner. And that way, when you go to transfer that property, it'll be smooth and clear, and your sale will go through smoothly and clearly. That's our job, to make it as seamless as possible. And I think Shelly said something else that's important. No two deals are ever alike. They may seem like they're alike, but they aren't. We seem to specialize in the deals that are creative and difficult, and that's sort of the challenge. Anything I left out? I probably got off on a tangent there.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. So now that we've made it to the owner-occupied building with Anna Landers, I guess it's safe to say that the client that we're speaking of can call his or her property their own. Special thanks to Christina, Shelly, and Alyssa. Now it's Anna's turn. I'm so sorry to tell us how a client can make their property go from drab to fab. Hi, Anna.
Hello.
Hi. Please explain to our audience everything that is considered and planned for a client to be satisfied with his or her property with Intos Design.
Perfect. I'm actually going to share my screen and use a little case study to help talk through what the process is once our firm gets involved. So let me start with that. Okay, can everybody see my screen of pictures?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, perfect. So when we get involved, it usually means that a building has closed, and I'm using this as an example. This is a commercial office space in Dallas, Lincoln Center. And in this case, a new owner came in, bought the building, and they have some money to spend to upgrade it. So they would call our firm to help them do this. So here's what will happen. At the beginning of the project, we will usually get in a room with several different people involved in the real estate transaction. So one of those people might be the property manager currently on the building, who knows the tenants well and understands all things about the building. The other people that might be in the room are the leasing agents that are going to try to lease this building to different tenants and know what the market is saying and what tenants are wanting in this building. It might also be the owners, the people who just bought the building, or the asset managers. So there's several people involved in helping us figure out what we need to do to make this building more leasable. So whenever, it's funny, whenever you are bringing in a design firm or an architecture firm and you're looking at a building and it's dated, it's never just, hey, you guys make it nicer. That is never how it goes. Usually it's all revolved around, can we raise our rates? What can we do to lease up the building? Or what can we do to lease up the building and sell it and make a profit? So all of those things are talked about in this initial meeting. And usually the things that are spoken about are, here's what we don't like about it, and here's what tenants are asking for, so that they want to come and lease a space in this building. So tenants are asking for amenities. Does your building have a fitness center? Does it have a conference center? They're asking for new modern look and feel. It might be that the leasing agents are saying that they want to market this building to law firms, or they might want to lease it and market it to tech type companies. So those kinds of things right there tell us what kind of look and feel we need to incorporate into this, because marketing it to a law firm is definitely different than marketing it to like a young tech firm. So that helps us gives us direction when it comes to deciding what we're going to do as far as updating this building. So this is Lincoln Center. This is a before picture. So things that were said were it's dark, it feels cramped, there's dated finishes, things like that. So go to the next picture. Again, the space frame, which is up here at the top, they said it just overtook. What can we do to kind of make your eye look to something else? So this is an after picture. Again, we lightened the space. We added these ring lights to help focus your eye on that instead of the dark space frame. New finishes. This is the elevator that we reclad and added in this green wall. That's another thing that leasing agents say tenants are really looking for, is that indoor outdoor feel. I'm going to go through these pictures very quickly. This right here, there was no real lobby in the space. So the brokers were asking us to create something more of a good first impression. So we took this outdoor porte-cochere and created an indoor lobby. That's what this space is. Again, this right here was a tenant space. We took it down. We completely demolished it. We made it lobby because we wanted to have that natural light come into the space. There we go. Using that green, kind of that indoor, outdoor feel. More seating areas. This is another before of the elevator lobby where it was dark and they wanted it to be light and bright. So here's an after. So things like this are what helps lease a space, which again is just at the end of the day for the building owners is money in their pockets. Clicking through, this is before pictures, after pictures. Everyone's asking for the light and bright, so that's kind of what we did in this building. We did add a skylight here, again, bring in that light. So these are all things that in the real estate world, you may be a broker, you may be a property manager, you may be an asset manager, but you do have a lot of say in the design of a building at the end of the day, which is fun. We get to sit in meetings with them, present, get their feedback. I mean, because they're out there talking to clients and understanding what needs they have. An example of a fitness center, this was before. Again, I said amenities are huge. So the client wanted to update their fitness center. This is before again. And then after. Just clicking through here, just kind of showing you the difference.
I've seen in the 15 years I've been in Dallas, this property renovated.
Yeah.
It's a couple times. This blows away the other designs. It looks absolutely amazing.
It does.
Yeah, you know, what we've been seeing in the market is we started capital improvements. We call it capital improvements. Probably 7 to 10 years ago on a few buildings in Dallas. And what happens is you renovate this building, you add all the amenities, and then the building next to it, the competing building says, oh, well, I guess I have to do that now. And then they start, so it's been a snowball effect. And now everyone expects it in their buildings to have these amenities and the nice finishes. And the restrooms, the tenants care about the restrooms. So we're renovating those. So, you know, we are really involved with the real estate community and the transaction, and all of that has to do with, you know, having a deal, getting the building leased, having tenants fill your building. And that is why, design is so important because it helps make deals happen. So at the end of the day, usually, what makes a project successful is, we came in on budget, on time, and then it helps to get the building leased, helps make the building owner money, and then they're happy and they call us back for the next one.
Thank you for sharing, Anna. Oh my goodness. These are so beautiful. The after ones, like, so pretty. So thank you again. And thank you to Christina, Shelly, and Alyssa for explaining the ins and outs of commercial real estate transactions that take place in your offices as well. So audience, now you get the chance to interact and ask your questions to our lovely panel. Please write your questions in the chat box or use the hand raise feature.
Well, while students are pulling together their questions, I just want to say that was an amazing presentation filled with a lot of valuable information and really great to be able to apply real world situations to all the real estate acumen that they've been learning. And so I really want to thank you, ladies, for all the preparation and time that you've put into the presentation, and it just was very, very valuable. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining those 8:30 a.m. calls. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I appreciate you all so much. I have a question, if no one else asked, but I want to know, how do you all juggle the work you have to do for your clients daily? So like, are you taking on multiple clients at a time? Like, I'm sure you are. So how do you manage your time?
Well, I can go a little bit. So in business development, I feel like every day is something different. You might have your schedule and know these are the things you want to work on, but once I get to the office, anything can happen depending on, clients who email me and issues that come up. And sometimes I also am, our closers are very busy, and when there are deadlines, I think Shelly was mentioning about communication and letting the client know where you are. If they haven't sent out that email, then I'm going to send it out because I want to be responsive. I want to let the client know where they are. So for me, a lot of times I go in doing exactly what I thought I was going to be doing and going from meeting to meeting or calling this person or whatever my agenda is. But other days it can change totally. So it just sort of depends.
And I don't know everybody, so
yeah.
then
I think technology has really helped out in the environment that we're in now, the hybrid situation. I find myself, I know I just moved into a new role, but my previous role I was in for 13 years and I had a portfolio of almost 80 clients. So on top of business development and managing 80 clients, you have to know their needs. You're on standby. You want to make sure they're taken care of. And I live by my calendar. But at the same time, if I'm not able to attend a meeting because my schedule is too backed up, I'm able to jump on a Zoom or jump on a phone call or take a phone call while I'm on my way to another appointment. So it's really, time management is a very difficult thing when you have so many balls in the air. But it's just at the end of the day, your clients respect that you are a busy person too, because in turn they are as well. So it's just communicating, what exactly you do and how you're going to be able to help them in the response time. Being prompt is what it is. So I think we all juggle a lot every single day on top of our networking, on top of our happy hours, on top of events that we attend. I mean, it gets pretty crazy, but it's fun. It's a fun part of our job.
anyone else care to answer the question?
I have a question. I was just gonna ask you guys what you think the future like office spaces are gonna look like, or the office, the future office spaces, because I know that the traditional office space is changing, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on like how you think that would impact like the commercial real estate industry, or how you think the commercial real estate industry will kind of take on that change.
I can answer this one. We get asked this question quite often. What we have seen happening over the years is what we call resimercial. So it's the residential world coming into the commercial world. So no longer is it, just desks and workstations. It's a lot of lounge and really residential type kitchens that look like coffee bars and Starbucks. Basically, employees, in order to get you to come into the office, they're trying to make the office more comfortable, more like you're working at home. So that has a lot to do with with the new design and look. It's that residential and also hospitality a little bit. But I think second, it's the amenities. It's offering other things in your office space besides working. So, we put in a lot of gaming, pool tables and things in the office so that your employees after work can hang out with each other, and they want you to be friends and stay at an office. So they're trying to get you to bond and do things together. I think COVID has also affected the office. We went through lots of exercises with different companies on making sure people were spaced far enough apart, or what is a hybrid work at home and work at the office half the time look like. And some of that is not giving people dedicated desks. It might be that you have 6 spaces that people share. So when you come to the office, you take your little locker and that's where you sit, but then the rest of the days you're at home. So it's some of that as well. So it's definitely changing and morphing, but a lot of it evolves around those are the 3 big things I'm seeing, really. And technology, of course, with Zoom and chat rooms and all that.
Anna, when you say that, it never fails when I walk into an office building and I see what you're saying. It blows my mind, because I used to do office leasing, and I can tell you, you would have never had a lounge space. You would have never had kitchens or pool tables, because the owners would have never wasted 1 square inch of space on those types of things. It was all where they could make money and lease the space. And it was, I mean, you are going from black to white as the times change. And that's really what we have to do. You have to keep up with the trends and go with the times. But that is just, it depends what the trend is. I can remember, I'm going to date myself and I don't mind that, but I can remember when I very, very first started, and I think it was called Sun Oil was in one of the buildings I leased, and they had the big mainframe computers, and they had the computer floors that were huge, and underneath those platform floors were all the wires. And I was walking in going, oh my God, what is this? And look at us now with these little laptops. And those spaces have to be totally wiped out. And it costs a lot of money for that type of TI or tenant improvement to do those types of things. So it's always interesting to see what the trends are. And thankfully, we have people like you who keep up with that and can advise the owners and the brokers where they need to go and what they need to do.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of my clients that have been leasing space and that have done build out and tenant improvement loans, they want facilities where their employees have shared workspace, where they could plug and play from whatever desk. They could collaborate on projects. They have rooms where they could huddle and have the technology installed, where they could do a Zoom meeting with people from other countries joining their meeting as if they were there and collaborating. So we're seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot of that with just clients that I'm helping with tenant improvement loans, because that's what's attracting them to either relocate from their current space or, expand, especially tech companies. I had a tech company the other day that wanted to buy, and I've not even heard of this concept, but it was like a very high-end garage. And he basically had a fire pole that he was able to get his employees to come down if they wanted to, but enough space where they could park the tech truck, because they were out, helping clients. But this setup was just insane. Like, I've never seen anything about it. So the workspace is just evolving to be fun and wanting to, attract clients, because I know, right, or employees, because right now it's really, really hard to retain employees. So they're making it more attractive for their employees to stay.
I think that's going to be really important too as we come out of COVID, and so many people are so used to working at home, and they are comfortable working at home. At some point in time, especially an employer has this big real estate asset that they've built out, anticipating having several thousand people occupying and working from there. And at some point in time, they're going to say, we need to do something to get people out of their homes and want to come back into the office.
We have a question from the chat box, and this question is for Anna. The question is from Denicia. I hope I said your name right. Her question is, are there any specific design degrees or certifications needed to design commercial properties? Sorry.
Good question. Yes, there are. I have a license to practice interior design. I know a lot of, there is a difference between calling yourself an interior designer and an interior decorator. So a designer, to call yourself that, you have to be licensed. So in the commercial world, we do stamp drawings that construction documents that go in for permit for the city to approve so that the contractor can build that space. So in that world, you do need to be licensed to stamp drawings and work in that commercial field. And so that just takes a degree and a certain amount of years under a licensed professional, and then you take a test and you get licensed, and then every year you have to keep up your license with continue education classes. So yeah, good question.
That was a good question. Thank you, Denise. Alrighty, so that was the only question we got. Out of all that time we've been talking, but that's okay. We're doing great on time. So it's 6:30. Now we're gonna move on to our book raffle winner. Oh, but I gotta pull up the presentation, y'all. Give me just a second. Okay.
I want to say, Ellen, your energy is like amazing. Like bright and sunny, and you've been amazing to work with. So I really appreciate everything you've done.
Absolutely.
You've done a fabulous job pulling everything together.
Thank y'all. I really appreciate it. But I mean that. Like, I really thank y'all so much.
Can you believe I had to convince her to join the real estate club board? And wow, what a powerhouse she's been. And in addition to the real estate board, we've been really fortunate to have her at the leadership role.
Well, we're fortunate to have you, Julie, also.
Oh, thank you, Alyssa. Thank you.
I can't tell you, being on the membership committee, there's so many different people that I'll run across, and they'll say, well, my professor in college was a member of CREW. And I said, let me guess, is that Professor Lynch by chance? And they're like, oh my God, she was the best professor I've ever had.
Oh,
I hear that over and over.
Thank you, Alyssa. And I have to tell you, as you know, I've been a member of CREW over 30 years, and it's been an instrumental part of my advancement in my career. what Alyssa said is absolutely true, and it's a very powerful organization for networking. And one thing about women is they're very nurturing, and so they like to take young students under their wings, coach, mentor, develop. So I encourage you to join Crew. You don't have to be a female. You can be a male or a female.
Right.
And after this presentation, I know many times students are shy and don't feel comfortable asking a question, but I'm sure these ladies would be happy to continue to answer any questions you have following the program also.
Absolutely. And if you want to come to one of our meetings, I'm sure any of us will meet you there and introduce you around and tell you more about Crew and help with anything you need.
Janeman said, do you need to have some sort of credibility to take a loan for commercial real estate, apart from showing how your business cash flows?
Time in business is important. Typically, whenever we do a real estate loan, we look at 3 years financials for the business and 1 year personal. So we want to make sure the guarantor, which is in the individual that owns the business or individuals, have credibility of their own, as well as the business. We look at DMB to make sure, the business is reputable. We make sure that the financials can meet the covenants, as Shelly mentioned. There's a debt service covenants that we put on loan agreement where you can't just provide 3 years financials and get the loan and change your financials the next year, because you're going to be monitored throughout the process. So yes, the business and the guarantor, whoever's going to be personally guaranteeing that commercial real estate loan, both have to have credibility.
I just wanted to cut in quickly and announce the winner of the raffle. Victoria Hedger, if you're here, you have won the Audible raffle. So if you wanted to reach out to the City Real Estate Club, our email, we will get that to you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Dan, will you put that contact in the chat box for the winner, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Dan makes all of our flyers for the event, so she was instrumental in getting the word out about this program. So Sam, thank you for your efforts.
Of course, always.
And just to let you all know that this Audible subscription was provided by Hallett and Perrin, Shelly's employer. So thank you to Hallett and Perrin for this. Just to let everybody know, we used a generator to come up with the winner. So
yeah, it wasn't break. It was fair and square.
Yes, fair and square. Please know that. But yes, congratulations to the winner. Oh, what am I saying, y'all? Oh my goodness, I am so nervous. Did y'all hear me say winter instead of winter?
You're just supposed to push through, Ellen. Just push
It
through.
is winter. It is winter. Tomorrow it's going to be winter.
It is.
Yeah.
No mistake.
But congratulations to the winner. Oh my goodness. Here are some book recommendations for you and everybody else on this call. These book recommendations came from our own panelists here and some people that I met yesterday during a call about emotional intelligence. So I wanted to include those books. So I hope you all think of these when you go on your next book run. And y'all, if there aren't any more questions, that's the end. This concludes our event for today. I just want to say thank you. Well, before I say thank you, any more questions? Does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to say? Any comments?
This is recorded if we would like to rewatch it, correct?
Yes. Yes, it
Yes.
is.
It'll be on the Real Estate Club website.
Yes, it will. Any other questions? Because if not, I want to say thank you to Christina, Shelly, Alyssa, and Anna. Thank you again for being here with us. Everything that you shared, oh my goodness, I'm appreciative of it, and I know everybody else here is also. Thank you to Professor Lynch for just being with us every step of the way and making sure everything was running smoothly. I needed you. And I'm so happy that you were there and just so helpful. Everybody was. And thank you to all of our lovely attendees, the students at UTD. Thank y'all for being here. I hope I didn't bore you with my high-pitched voice. But oh my goodness, thank you to everybody, and I hope y'all have a great evening.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you
You're
so much,
rock
Ellen,
star.
for everything.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everybody. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. Bye, Shelly.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Denicia, Alessi, Holly, Sam, Benjamin, everybody. Shahana, I see you. Bye.
Bye.
Fong?
Oh, hi. Oh, yeah, I will leave this right now.
Okay, see ya.
See ya. See you back.